You might be the person who spent 3 days organizing her closet, decluttering things, listing things on Poshmark, and driving to 3 different organizations to donate your things. And then 2 weeks later, you're frustrated because it's back to being messy and cluttered. So you buy an organizing book, you watch some more YouTube videos, and you do it again. But this time, you follow a different method. You use special baskets and custom organizers for your sunglasses and your belts, and you try different folding techniques. And 3 weeks later, it's messy again. It's cluttered again. And now you're not just frustrated, you're a little embarrassed because you can't seem to keep your closet in order. And the thing is, it's not just your closet, it's a lot of spaces in your house. And it's not just these 2 attempts. This has been going on for years, this cycle of organizing something only to watch it all come back to the way it was, maybe even a little worse than when you started. You're a smart, capable person. So you wonder what is going on because that cycle, organizing, it gets recluttered, trying again, cluttered again, that wears down your confidence, doesn't it? And when that happens, your home stops feeling like a place you love being in. And that is definitely worth fixing. So today I want to give you something really useful. It's a way to understand what might actually be happening and the language to talk about it so that if you do reach out for help, you can do it without embarrassment and without having to explain yourself from scratch. This is episode 105, and it's a mini episode, so we're going to keep it focused and useful. Today, I want to talk about something called chronic disorganization, what it actually is, what it isn't, and a simple way to check whether it might apply to you so you have the language you need if you decide to reach out to a professional organizer for help. Okay, the term chronic disorganization was coined in 1992 by a professional organizer named Judith Kohlberg. She noticed that some of her clients weren't just going through a messy season. They had a pattern, a real repeating pattern that didn't respond to the usual organizing approaches. And that observation has shaped the way that a lot of professional organizers work today, including organizers who train specifically to work with clients in this situation. Chronic disorganization is defined by 3 things, and all 3 need to be present for this to be characterized as chronic disorganization. First, it has gone on for a long time, not just a rough patch like a hard year, but years, a long running theme in someone's life. Second, it truly affects the quality of life. It disrupts daily functioning in real ways. And third, it has persisted even after solid attempts to fix it. This person hasn't been passive about this. She's tried, and it just hasn't held. Now, I want to say something important. Chronic disorganization is not a character flaw. It is a recognized pattern, and it doesn't only show up as a messy house. It can look like being chronically late because you just can't seem to get out the door on time no matter what you try. It can look like missing deadlines even when you remember them. It can look like an inability to hold on to any organizing or time management system for more than like 2 or 3 weeks. It's bigger than just clutter, right? And chronic disorganization is not the same as hoarding disorder. These 2 things sometimes get lumped together, but they're very different. Hoarding disorder is a formally diagnosed psychiatric condition, and it's diagnosed by mental health clinicians. Its defining features are a deep emotional attachment to possessions, a lot of distress at the idea of letting nearly anything go, and living spaces are so filled up that they can't be used for their intended purposes anymore. In fact, it can be downright dangerous to live in these spaces. The key difference is this. Someone with hoarding disorder typically doesn't experience their situation as a problem. They usually don't seek help on their own. And that's not what we're talking about today. If you're listening to this episode, wondering whether something is going on with you and feeling frustrated that you can't seem to fix it. Well, that self awareness, that desire to figure it out, is not a feature of hoarding disorder, okay? So let me show you what chronic disorganization can actually look like because I think it helps to hear it described in real life. So I want to describe someone you might recognize, maybe a little bit in yourself, maybe in someone that you know. And this person is sharp, capable, and by every outward measure, she has her life together. She's a good mom, respected at work. She shows up for the people she loves, but organizing has never held up for her. She'll spend a whole Saturday getting her home office in order, feel great about it, but within 2 to 3 weeks, it's back to exactly what it was. There are papers covering every surface, three half finished to do lists lying around, a parking ticket she never paid because she couldn't find it and then lost track of it and then forgot. She's bought the organizing books. She's tried the special bins, the binders and checklists, and all the apps. Each one works for maybe 2 weeks and then they just don't anymore. In her daily life, this shows up in ways that really cost her. She's late to work and events because she couldn't find her keys, or her kid's permission slip, or the email with the address on it. She misses deadlines, not because she forgot, but because her work is in so many piles and folders on her computer that she spends way too long looking for things that she already did, or she has to recreate them. She avoids opening her mail because that pile is already so daunting. She doesn't know where to start. She spent years assuming that she's just not an organized person, as if that's simply who she is, like something she was born without. And here's a different version of this, and maybe this one might be the one that hits closer to home for you. This woman actually had decent systems in place, nothing Pinterest amazing or anything, but things mostly worked. She knew where the important papers were. Dinner happened most nights. The mornings were manageable. And then something happened, maybe a divorce or a parent's illness that pulled her away for months, or a job loss that just knocked her whole routines upside down. And during that season, the systems fell apart, which made complete sense, right? Because she was just surviving. But then, when the dust settled and life steadied again, well, the systems never came back. She tried to rebuild them. She really, really did. But it was like she'd lost the thread entirely. Now the kitchen counter is a landing zone for everything: the mail, school forms, her daughter's hair ties, library books that are definitely overdue. She's been double booking herself because her calendar is half on her phone and half on a paper planner that she can't reliably find. She once missed a parent teacher conference because the reminder got buried in her email inbox that has 4,000 unread messages. And she's embarrassed by it. She works around it, but she can't seem to fix it. And she's been trying for 2 years. Those are two very different people, but with the same pattern underneath. Now, if you have an ADHD diagnosis, this can all sound familiar, right? In fact, chronic disorganization often coexists with ADHD, but also with anxiety, depression, and other health challenges too. And I want to be clear, I'm not a medical professional, I'm a professional organizer, so I'm not here to diagnose anything. But if any of this sounds familiar to you, it may be worth a conversation with both an organizer and your doctor or therapist. You don't have to have it all figured out before you ask for help. So here's a simple way to check in with yourself. It's 3 questions. And again, this is not a diagnosis. It's just a way to give yourself some language to work with and to start to recognize some patterns, okay? So question 1, has disorganization been a pattern in your life for many years? Not just a hard season or a tough year, but a long running theme. Question 2, does your disorganization affect your daily life in a real way, like in your relationships, your work, or your sense of yourself at home? And question 3, have you tried to fix it on your own, like really tried to fix it more than once, and it hasn't held up. If the answer to all three is yes, that's a pattern that could be consistent with chronic disorganization. Now, naming this chronic disorganization is not meant to define you, but it helps you ask for the right kind of help. So here's what I want you to do with that. When you contact a professional organizer, you can say something like, I've been struggling with this for a long time. I've tried this and this on my own, and nothing has stuck. I'm wondering if there's something more going on. That's enough. A good organizer will know what to do with that. Knowing yourself a little better is not the same as labeling yourself. That's not what this is about. This is about giving you enough language and enough confidence to ask for the kind of help that actually gets you moving forward again and to break that cycle, because organizing is learnable for everyone. It just doesn't always look the same for everyone. So if you've been struggling for a long time with getting and staying organized, please schedule a quick consultation with me. You'll find times that I'm available at fireflybridge.com/schedule. Okay. And I'll put a link in the show notes for you. Thank you for being here today. Have a beautifully organized week. I'm Z, and I'll see you on the next episode.